So I've had a lot of people ask me lately how they can best utilize the new running feature that Zwift offers. There are a lot of great options out there when it comes to running with Zwift, but I'm going to walk through the sensors I use and why I think it's a great option for athletes who want to transition quickly from the bike into their run. So the first thing you're going to need to make this system work is the 4Eyes Innovation Viva Heart Rate Monitor. I picked this one up on Amazon for about $80, which seems a little bit steep for a heart rate monitor, but what makes this model so great is its ability to both receive and transmit both ANT+ and Bluetooth signals. So what this means is any existing sensors you may have on your bike, whether they're an ANT+ or a Bluetooth system, are going to be able to transmit and receive from this heart rate monitor. It attaches to any typical heart rate monitor strap with two buttons on the back of the device. The water-resistant battery compartment is located on the back, and the app will show you how much battery you have left at any given time. So now that we have a receiver that works with any system you may already be using, you're going to need some sensor for running. I went with the Garmin Foot Pod. Again, I picked this up on Amazon for about $50. Now this sensor in particular is an ANT+ transmitter. I've been using it for about a month now and I haven't had any issues with loss of connection or transmission to the device. Comes with a pretty simple user manual, not much to see there. What we really want to take a look at are the sensors. You're going to have two things in the box. You have the mounting plate for the shoes. This will be able to fit around any laces you might be using at the moment. Now the sensor itself is tiny, so you're not going to have any issues with additional weight on your shoe. You can see the battery plate there and the ANT+ symbol on the back. So let's go ahead and get this mounted on the shoe. I happen to be using my right shoe, but it doesn't matter which one you use. The laces sit between the mounting plate and the actual Garmin sensor itself. On a side note, I'm using elastic laces on these shoes, which are a must-have if you haven't used them. I'll put the link in the description below. Clips on and you're good to go. I haven't had any issues with this sensor falling off. So now let's get the device paired up and see what we can do. I can't mention enough how convenient it is to have one system that receives and transmits both ANT+ and Bluetooth. It's going to allow me to use my iPad here to receive a signal that's ANT+ from both my Cadence foot sensor and all the sensors on my bike. So I got two apps loaded here, the Zwift app and the 4Eye Innovations app. I have to say their app is pretty watered down and it's not optimized for the iPad, but it's a piece of cake to use. So you're going to take your sensor, hold it next to the iPad, being sure both connections are mounted to your heart rate strap. You're going to click tap to pair, then you tap the sensor to the iPad, which is kind of odd, and after a few seconds it will pair with the device. Once you got that done, once the heart rate strap is receiving to the iPad, you're going to go ahead and configure the device to receive any ANT+ devices in the area. This is a nice little feature too, considering that the strap is pretty simplistic and doesn't have any monitoring of the battery. Now you can see I've already tapped to pair my devices, but you can see my speed and cadence sensor from my bike as well as the Foot Pod sensor. Go ahead and hit done to confirm. Then you can close out of the app. This next step is crucial, and if you want to use it with Zwift, you're going to remember to do this. To utilize the sensor on Zwift, you must do a hard close of the 4Eye Innovation app before opening Zwift. Doing this will not unpair your device, but it will keep Zwift from seeing the sensors when you open up the program. If you've updated Zwift to the most recent update, you're going to see you now have an option to ride and run. You're going to go over to the run option, and it will immediately connect to your sensors. I highly suggest on the first run you go ahead and calibrate your system. To do this, I set it to a simple pace in which I can run for 1 minute and then set my treadmill to match that pace. With a little time-lapse magic here, I'm going to run for 1 minute. Okay, now that our system's calibrated, we can go ahead and start a run. Just like we'd do any other ride, you'll see your typical startup menu. I'll hit run, and we can go ahead and get started. Now, like I was saying before, why I think this is such a great option is with this single heart rate monitor, I'm able to transition from my bike into the run without ever having to change my strap or connect to any different sensors. All I have to do is close out of my ride and start a new run. I hope this little tutorial has been helpful. It's been working great for me for about a month, and I love that I can do quick transition workouts with this system. I'll be sure to give a link to all the products I used below, and be sure to like and comment. I hope to see you guys out on the course.